So why do so many earthquakes hit the Philippines? This is a video you guys linked to me, especially after the last video I reacted to. Something crazy happening in the Philippines right now. And you guys said, listen, this will explain a lot more, especially, and it is very, very interesting and intriguing, actually. So check it out. Please come join me. Let's go.
Another earthquake in the Philippines. Buildings shake, people evacuate, casualties are reported, and everyone asks the same question. Why does this keep happening? The Philippines experiences over 100 earthquakes every year.
Oh, wow.
20 or more are strong enough to cause damage. Some kill thousands.
And that's the scariest thing too, is I was there in the Philippines when a little mini one happened, and I was at a very, very tall building. Like that's where the apartment was that I was staying in, and it shook just slightly, and we were like, whoa, what just happened? And I was there with my friends and my fiance, and it was scary, right? Because it's just very sudden. Sometimes you don't even know what's going to happen. It just does.
And it's never going to stop. Here's why. The Philippines sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 25,000-mile horseshoe-shaped zone where 90% of the world's earthquakes occur. This ring circles the Pacific Ocean, passing through Japan, Indonesia, New Zealand, Chile, California, and right through the Philippines.
Yeah, that's insane that we even have that on Earth, by the way. And I've heard that Japan, for example, they have a lot of earthquakes as well. They have very intense tsunamis. So it's not only the Philippines, but the Philippines is more prone to so many typhoons. It's crazy, man, how the world works in that way.
But the Philippines isn't just on the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
It's trapped between multiple colliding tectonic plates.
That's the scary part.
Think of the Earth's surface like a cracked eggshell.
Yeah.
These cracks are tectonic plates, massive slabs of rock floating on the molten mantle below. Where these plates meet, they collide, slide past each other, or one dives beneath another. The Philippines sits at the junction of four major plates: the Eurasian Plate, the Philippine Sea Plate, the Pacific Plate, and the Sunda Plate. All four are pushing against each other, and the Philippines is caught in the middle. This collision creates two types of earthquake threats: offshore subduction zones and inland fault lines. Let's start with the trenches. There are 7 major trenches surrounding the Philippine archipelago. These are subduction zones, places where one tectonic plate is being forced beneath another.
Oh, and this actually causes landslides as well, right? This is why in certain areas it's much more common, because when that plate kind of overlaps the other one, it causes obviously like an earthquake, but this is why as well landslides can happen, especially on slope areas. And that's the thing too, in the Philippines, there's a lot of like slope areas because of the fact that there is so many islands, so many mountains. It's so beautiful. But because of that, you know, like beauty comes with, what is that one saying that a lot of people would say like in fashion, like, oh, beauty hurts, right? Or whatever. Like, you know, it's so beautiful, the Philippines. But because of that, there's just that one problem. There's so many mountainous areas. There's a chance of like landslides. There's a chance of so many different things.
The Manila Trench runs along the western coast of Luzon in the South China Sea. When it ruptures, it can generate magnitude 8.0 earthquakes and tsunamis that hit western Luzon in 10 to 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
The East Luzon Trench runs along the eastern coast, facing the Pacific Ocean. It's capable of similar magnitude quakes and tsunamis hitting the eastern coast. The Philippine Trench, one of the deepest in the world at over 34,000 feet, runs along the eastern edge of the Philippine Sea.
Yeah.
It's farther offshore, but still threatens the eastern Philippines. The Cotabato Trench sits off the southwestern coast of Mindanao. It killed 8,000 people with a tsunami in 1976, and it's capable of doing it again.
And there was an incident just like that with the tsunami in Japan, right? I don't remember the name of it, but I'm sure everyone knows. One of the biggest tsunamis that happened in Japan. It was terrifying. It was so sad. And it's just scary that things like that can just happen. There's not much you can even do about it either. Even if you were to try to prepare in the best way you can, like look at Japan, right? It has an incredible infrastructure, but even then, so many casualties happen because there's not much you can do at a certain point where nature is involved, right? Nature is like a force to be reckoned with. It's just one of those scary things that you can't do much. You can't talk to nature, right? Be like, hey, nature, relax. You can't do that. It just happens. And it just decides when, and it's random. Like just randomly on October 11th, just yesterday, a 7.6 earthquake just hits. That's terrifying to think about. That something so random, so sudden could happen. And even some people were alerted, but some didn't. A lot of you guys in the video were actually telling me I wasn't even alerted about this. And I'm glad I made that video so some people could understand that it's going on. But some people even explained like, oh, I felt a little shake. I didn't even know this was happening until it was too late. And that's a scary thing too.
The Negros Trench runs through the central Visayas between Negros and Cebu. The 2012 earthquake that killed 51 people came from this fault system.
Oh, man.
The Sulu Trench runs through the southwestern Philippines near Zamboanga and the Sulu Sea. And the Philippine Sea Plate itself, a massive tectonic boundary where multiple trenches converge. These trenches don't just threaten tsunamis. When they rupture, the entire region shakes. Magnitude 7.0, 8.0, even 9.0 earthquakes are possible. And because the Philippines is an archipelago, thousands of islands spread across hundreds of miles, there's no safe zone.
Not at all.
Every region is vulnerable to at least one of these trenches. But the trenches aren't the only threat. Running through the middle of the Philippines is the Philippine Fault System, a 1,200-kilometer network of inland fault lines. This fault runs from Luzon through Mindanao, cutting directly through populated areas. Unlike offshore trenches that generate tsunamis, the Philippine Fault causes direct ground shaking right beneath cities and towns. The Marikina Valley Fault runs through Metro Manila. If it ruptures with a magnitude 7.0 or higher earthquake, the capital, home to 13 million people, would be devastated.
Bro.
Buildings would collapse. Infrastructure would fail. The death toll could reach tens of thousands.
And what's crazy is the one that just happened actually had buildings collapse and crack and so much more. And that's the scariest part, is that this could still happen in a bigger place, right? In a place populated even more. And I'm not saying that the one that just hit wasn't in a more populated area. All of the Philippines felt it. That's how intense it was. But I'm saying that all it takes is just that one precise location where it hits that one pillar of that one building that causes a domino effect. And that's kind of the scary parts, right? And this is why I was emphasizing in my last video. You guys need to understand, if you know there's a crack in the building, maybe where you work or anything like that, because some of my friends where they work, if anything happens like that, I would tell them the same thing. If you know that building is cracked, you have to talk to them. You have to tell them, hey, listen, there's a crack in this building. Listen, you got to make sure that this is safe before I go in, because, you know, I have a family, I have this, and I don't want to have to know that this building I'm working in is just full on cracked from that earthquake that just happened. And I'm going to just enter it, because a lot of casualties not only happen during earthquakes, they happen after the earthquake already happened because of that building just collapsing because of that crack that it left. So you have to remember that too.
The Mindanao Fault runs through the southern island. The recent earthquake? Likely connected to this fault system. Mindanao experiences frequent quakes because it sits on multiple overlapping fault lines. So why are there so many earthquakes? Because the Philippines is geologically trapped. Tectonic plates are colliding from every direction. Subduction zones surround the islands. Fault lines run through the middle. There is no escape, and it's not going to stop. Tectonic plates move slowly, a few centimeters per year, but they never stop. Pressure builds along fault lines for decades or centuries. Then, suddenly, catastrophically, they slip. Earthquakes release that pressure. But the plates keep moving, and the cycle repeats. 5 the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, monitors all of this. They've mapped the trenches, they've identified the fault lines, they issue warnings, but they can't predict when the next big one will hit. They can only say it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Some faults are overdue. The Manila Trench hasn't had a major rupture in living memory, but geological evidence shows it's capable.
At any moment, right?
The Cotabato Trench ruptured in 1976, 49 years ago, and it ruptures every 50 to 100 years. The Marikina Valley Fault? Estimates suggest it could produce a magnitude 7.2 earthquake.
And one just 7.4
The last time
just
it
happened.
moved significantly was over 200 years ago.
Oh,
so
man.
what can Filipinos do? You can't stop earthquakes.
No.
But you can prepare. Know which fault lines or trenches are near your area. If you live in Manila, the Marikina Fault and Manila Trench are your threats.
Yeah.
If you're in Mindanao, it's the Cotabato Trench and Mindanao Fault. If you're in Visayas, it's the Negros Trench and Philippine Fault. Have an earthquake plan. Know where to take cover.
Yes.
Keep emergency supplies, water, food, first aid, flashlight. Have an evacuation route if you live near the coast, because some earthquakes trigger tsunamis.
Yeah.
Retrofit your home if possible. Make sure heavy furniture is secured. Know how to turn off gas and electricity, and understand the warning signs. If you
Wow.
feel a strong earthquake,
That's actually incredibly smart. It's something that's kind of obvious, but some people don't think of. At least I haven't, especially. You turn off all the gas and everything else that could potentially explode, right? Like, let's say you did everything right, but you forgot this one thing. Turn off the stove, like the gas that goes to the stove, because if one thing falls on that, it could explode, or one thing falls and then hits this, or the gas is on and then you pass out. So many different things can happen from just that small little tweak. So that was really good advice, actually, because turning that off could literally save your life in any situation, especially when everything is rumbling and falling. It could hit anything in that vicinity and just cause an explosion just from that. So it is like a domino effect. So really, this is good advice.
and you're near the coast, don't wait for an official warning. If the ground shakes for more than 20 seconds near the ocean, evacuate to high ground immediately. Tsunamis can arrive in 5 to 15 minutes. The Philippines will never stop experiencing earthquakes. It's not bad luck, it's geology.
Yeah.
The islands sit at one of the most seismically active locations on Earth. But understanding why it happens, knowing which faults threaten which regions, gives you the knowledge to survive.
Exactly.
Another earthquake just hit. There will be more. The question isn't if, it's when.
Yeah.
Why are there so many earthquakes in the Philippines? Because the islands are trapped between colliding tectonic plates, surrounded by subduction zones and cut through by fault lines. It's one of the most dangerous places on Earth to live, geologically speaking.
Geologically speaking.
But millions of Filipinos call it home.
Hey, I might as well call it home too. I loved it. Even experiencing that mini earthquake when I was there, still love it, man.
And understanding the threat is the first step to living with it.
Wow.
Stay safe.
Dude, that was a fantastic video.
Stay prepared.
Yeah.
And subscribe for more videos about the geological threats beneath the Philippines.
Yo, I love that video. Thank you guys for linking that over. That was actually very helpful, especially considering like I travel to the Philippines consistently. I go there all the time. Might make it my home very soon. It's good to know all these things, and especially knowing that a lot of you who maybe are there in the Philippines now, because I know a lot of you also aren't in the Philippines right now. You might be in the US or you might be somewhere else. But it's good to know these little things, especially if you want to go travel there. It's good to know all of this. And most importantly, staying safe and just being knowledgeable about these things. It's very crucial. So thank you guys for linking this over. I love you guys. Till next time.